Hey YouTube, it's your girl Ari and I'm back with another video. So this is just going to be, I guess, a little um life talk. Um it seems like the older I get, the more stressed out, or the more I become in my thought, and the more I overthink things. Now naturally I am an overthinker. And I just found out that I have anxiety. um you really never know, like, what you actually are going through, and the things that you dealt with in your past makes you the person you are today. And I say that because um things that I thought was normal that I do, it's not normal. um Normal to me because I'm used to doing those things, but actually talking to a therapist is like, that's not normal, the things that you do. So the first thing, overthinking. I literally overthinks everything. Everything. From what I'm waking up and doing, to what I'm putting on, to my job, to myself, like literally everything. And I thought that was normal. To me, going to the hospital when literally it could be the smallest thing and I would go to the hospital. Um, just realizing a lot of things that I thought was normal and that normal people do is not normal after talking to my therapist. And I want to, I guess, normalize therapy. Now, um, us in the Black community, we do not look at therapy as a way to help cope with anything. We straight up looking at it as somebody knowing our business, or it's not really talked about a lot. And I was one of those person, like me. I'm a like a calm, laid back person, but at the same time, I like my business to be my business. Um, I don't really trust a lot of people, so whatever I go through in my life, I go through by myself. And if I feel like talking about it to somebody that I do trust, it would be after I already handled whatever I was going through by myself. And when I go through things, I shut down. Like literally. Um, I stop texting, stop talking, be by myself, and the whole shebang. So I recently started therapy last year in May. Um, and it actually has been helping me cope with my anxiety and learning me. Um, and helping me learn me, love me, how to communicate better with other people, just a lot. And touched back on some old trauma that I thought I had got rid of, or what I say is suppress it. Um, so I really think therapy, or if you're not comfortable with therapy, talk to somebody that you really, really trust. And one thing I like about my therapist is she doesn't overtalk me. She doesn't try to put me on medication, anything like that. I literally told her, like, when I first started talking to her, like, I don't want any medication. I want to just try to balance my life, balance my thoughts, all on my own. And the thing I love about her is she will let me talk and talk and talk and talk. And by just talking to her and certain things and certain questions that I have, I wind up answering my own questions and thoughts. And then she'll go deeper or give her opinion or advice on why I do things a certain way, or what can I do to make me get out this headspace when I'm in a headspace. Like, I had these periods in my life where I literally go through a midlife crisis. And I always been older for my age, like way before my time. Like when I was 14, 15, 16, I was thinking on adult mindset. Um, so now that I am 29 now, I literally went through the whole midlife crisis. Like a midlife crisis when I'm 21, a midlife crisis when I was 25. Now I'm 29, I'm going through the same thing again. And it's like, now that I'm in therapy and I'm learning new ways to cope with things, and the tools that she gave me to utilize certain things when I'm going through certain things is really helping me, because back then I would have been a mess. It's okay to understand your pace, and your journey is not like everybody else. And I think for me personally, that's where my problem comes at. I think my pace and my journey is just like everybody else, and it's not. Just because you are doing awesome in your life right now, and I'm not at the point that I want to be in my life right now, I would compare myself to yours. And like, oh dang, she's on this level, or she got this many YouTube subscribers, or like anything. And I have to realize that my pace and that person's pace is not the same. I don't know what it took for that person to get where they was. And I had to remind myself that, because I think social media plays another part in why a lot of people portray to be something they're not, or compare themselves to other people. And we all do it some point in time in life, and that's okay. But it's okay to know you are exactly where you are in your life, and that's where you're supposed to be. When you start acknowledging it and you start really realizing that, you will start making better thought decisions, as well as learning yourself more, as well as loving yourself more, as well as giving yourself credit for where you're at in your life. I'm a person who works on time, like, and I'm like a control freak. So it's like, if I plan this by this time, or I thought I would be married by now with kids and have my dream job, but that's not the case. And I gotta understand that just because I had the thought in my head of how I thought things was gonna play out over the years that I lived, it never really hit me that life doesn't work out like that. Like, you're not going to be where you want to be at this time age. Some people are blessed to do that, but in actuality, in reality, that's not really a reality. And I think society makes it so much even more of a big deal of, you have to have this by this time, you have to do this, da da da. And you never really think when you're young your life is going to play out how it plays out. Like, I don't have a religion, but I do believe there is a God. And it came to a point in my life where I was mad at God. Like, I was mad at him to the point where if somebody even spoke his name, or if somebody even told me, oh, just pray about it, I was rebellious. Like, I couldn't understand, if he knows I'm working so hard and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, why I'm not where I want to be. And I had to realize, I was and I am exactly where I should be in his eyes and not mine. I strongly believe that he already knows the path that we are on and the journey that we are on. And all we could do is plan, and all we can do, try to rearrange things. But to be honest, he has the last say so of where we're going to be, where we end up. And don't get me wrong, we play a part in those things. We play a part of us working hard to what we want, and us doing what we got to do to be where we want. But it's not going to come on our time. We have to learn how to enjoy life and the process that we take. You can't skip the whole process and just be at your dream and be where you want to be. You have to go through the motions. You have to go through the mistakes, the experiences. You have to go through it all. And I'm learning it as I'm getting older. Sometimes it is very frustrating where you feel like you take 10 steps forward and then get knocked 20 steps back. We learn who our real friends are. We learn who our real family is. And just because you blood doesn't mean that person wants the best for you. And I had to realize that too. Like, everybody doesn't want the best for you, and that's okay. As long as you know what you want for you, and you, and you like and you love what you see when you look in that mirror every day, that's all that matters. If nobody supports you, but you support you, that's all that matters. And yes, it's easier said than done. But once you start learning yourself and learning what you do like and what you don't like and what you want to put up with and what you're not, your goals, you will be okay. Like, I've learned a lot about myself from going to therapy and just taking the time up to know myself and ask myself questions that I would normally not ask myself. Um, and I learned a lot about myself. I've learned how to communicate effectively to certain people. Like, I've learned how I am. I'm like a straightforward person. Like, if anybody knows me and anybody that knows me, they know I'm a straightforward person. And sometimes I don't realize that could come off as aggressive because there's no gray areas with me. It's not. And I have to realize that everybody doesn't communicate the way I communicate. Everybody doesn't